we're not big on smarts, like science, we'll say. I feel like when it gets colder in areas that actually have humidity, like the water is kind of near, that it feels colder. I don't know why. That might be a complete misnomer.
I think that's
Maybe
science.
That
might be science. That might be science. I think that's the marine layer. I've heard that term before. I think that's a thing. Like when you're close to a body of water, it's automatically cooler. It's like at the beach, like 80 degrees at the beach with the breeze coming off the body of water that you're next to. I think it's always a little bit cooler. So I think you're right. Moisture in the air makes it colder.
Here's the thing. If you say it with confidence, then we all believe it. Let's get to the Big Four.
Battleborn Injury Lawyers presents the Big Four at 4. Number 4.
And this hour is brought to you by Battleborn Injury Lawyers. Offices in Northern Nevada, because we're on in Reno for this hour. Also, downtown Vegas, Summerlin, and Henderson. And you can call from anywhere in the state of Nevada. 766-1400, 766-1400. All right, coming out of the gates with number 4. I am not always familiar with what the kids do these days.
Oh, stop.
The celebration. Sometimes I'm in, sometimes I'm not. Last week, I had to admit on the air, I had no idea that potential first-round pick Carson Beck was dating one of the Cavender twins. I'm not as hip as I used to be, Caleb. I'm not as hip as I used to be. I wanted to ask you, and you know what? I didn't actually even know what this meant until I read into it. I kept seeing the word celly all the time, and I'm like, what is that? So that's a celebration.
Uh-huh.
So I'll ask you, your favorite celly the last few weeks, maybe going back to last year. Wipe your nose, Dragon Z, or the Trump dance?
Well, first of all, seeing you do the Trump dance was amazing.
Well, I did it the right way.
Yeah, you actually did.
You're supposed to be
Trump
chugging near your mouth.
Yeah.
Everyone's been doing it kind of like low.
Yeah.
Like the original dance is side by side, double D in it.
You got a lot of wiggle there.
I do have.
That's impressive.
I might have. Well, no, it's whatever. Keep going.
So first of all, I'm going to correct you on one of the things you said.
Okay.
We'll get to the wipe your nose later, but Dragon Z, you said Dragon Z. Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
And I will correct it because it is the greatest anime show in the history of anime shows.
Oh, it is.
And I was raised on Dragon Ball Z in its heyday, actually in the 90s and late 80s, but 90s into the 2000s is when it swept the Americas, I should say. So the Dragon Ball Z is layered, why I like that as my favorite celebration. One, there's a stigma between like the athletic culture and, let's say, just for sake of argument, the nerd culture that embraced Dragon Ball Z in my childhood. And I'm so glad that anime is losing the stigma of being only for nerds. So it's great to see the popularity of Dragon Ball Z transcend into the NFL game. Some of the coolest people you know are coming out of the closet, so to speak, for their Dragon Ball Z fandom. And I'm here for it. So I love the Dragon Ball Z celebration. That'd be my number one of this list. The Dragon Ball Z, for sure, takes the cake for me. The Trump dance is funny. I think it would be even funnier if I knew for certain that players were mocking Trump.
Or celebrating him.
I don't know.
Our Monday guest, Steve Kim, said this is a moment of liberation. There's no more hiding in the shadows. You can celebrate with President-to-be Donald Trump.
Yes.
And you know what? The NFL can't do a damn thing about it, which also leads me to, the wipe your nose thing, I think, is what? Is it a hip-hop reference? And was it something about cocaine?
It's a cocaine reference for sure. And I can't specifically say which rap artist it's talking about because it could be talking about several. I mean, for that matter, it doesn't have to be a rap artist. It could be a politician. It could be anybody that they're mocking on with this cocaine snippet. And it's funny because there's so many things that have happened in pop culture where the authorities or powers that be are so far behind the curve. You talk about yourself not being hip anymore. I don't think they know that that's what they're doing, right? Like, I don't think they understand the reference. So it's like, how long are they going to be allowed to do it? And going, back to the Trump dance celebration, like, yeah, are you going to say anything about it? Is it okay? You're fine with the political statements now? Or have you always been?
Well, they weren't, but now people can do anything. If they want to take a knee, they can do that. If they want to dance, they can do that. And then the other thing is, I'm going to give everyone a warning right now. I'm not saying you all did it, but you were all there when it was done. If any players from the 70s, 80s, into the early 90s complain about a song that is referencing cocaine, shut up.
Yeah.
That's because the NFL had a real I don't even know if it was an issue. A lot of guys did it. That was the recreational drug at the time. You watch Cocaine Cowboys, it feels like it was like even the best teams in the league were snorting it up.
Yeah.
So everything wide open now with celebrations in the NFL.
It's wide open, and you know what? I'm not mad at it. I'm okay with people being able to have that moment of expression. Sometimes it gets a little far. What I really am interested in too is the amount of dissecting now, or even like taking the celebrations and making them into something. CJ Stroud did something that slightly, like ever so slightly, resembled the Trump dance. And like you've got like right-wing politicians like even CJ Stroud's doing it. Like, well, no, he wasn't doing the exact thing. He was doing something very different. But because of now people trying to gain political favor, all of a sudden CJ Stroud's a Trump supporter, and that's what people are going to champion with it.
Oh, you looked away. Number 3.
Number 3.
Gave you the hand signal. I gave it 3 and an ear tug. We apologize for not having a Broadcaster Bites, award-winning podcast that we do, UNLV Broadcaster Bites. We hit the road. We grade it. We had an injury on the staff, so we were unable to pump it out this week. So far, San Jose is one of my favorite places to come to, and whether that means taking a long ride, maybe on the BART into San Francisco, we've done that before, but I can always find something here. I think the food selection, especially Asian food, is dynamite here. So I feel like you haven't gone out a whole lot.
I haven't.
We had dinner last night.
We had dinner last night. I didn't do much else because, like you said, the injured cast member was me. If you haven't seen the injury, your discretion advised. You can check my Twitter out and you can my ex, and you can look and see. Just sift through my timeline. You can find the injury.
Got a busted up toe.
Yeah, busted up toe took me out. So I haven't been as mobile. Usually, we actually do like to walk. But like we'll drive into town and then walk from bar to bar or wherever location we're going to. Didn't do it as much this time, but we did have a nice Korean barbecue dinner.
Griffin, you down with Korean barbecue?
Yeah, I usually am, but not right now because I'm looking at Caleb's foot. My goodness.
Why would you do that? Don't do that. Yeah. Speaking of eating lots of meat, I was very impressed last night. First of all, I'm usually an alpha in most groups I'm in, but in this Learfield broadcast group, and we're here with Caleb Herring, I can fade into the background. And like even at Korean barbecue, normally I'd be cutting and moving stuff. And man, I didn't cook anything last night. I was like, you guys did all the hard work.
You're just kind of spectating and learning a lot. And you bring up a good point because there's a lot of questions about like being a grill master and like what's appropriate and what's not appropriate on the grill. Is moaning appropriate? Like making noises at the grill?
We did a lot of it.
Yeah.
I actually got that on video because stuff would start sizzling and you just hear like, like, what is going on here? I will say I had quite a few beers, and I really was just kind of checked out, just eating.
Yeah.
It really was an eating contest, too, because, Griffin, there was a 90-minute time limit, and we acted like we were all going to starve to death. And you couldn't get, it's like, hey, bring 10 different kinds of meat. They had a 5-dish limit every 7 minutes.
Yeah. So our mission was essentially to keep the grill sizzling. Like we wanted to, every time they brought some, we would load up the grill as much as we can and try to get as much meat as possible out of the 90 minutes, which we may have bitten off more than we could chew. I don't know. Did we end up with a lot of leftovers?
Yeah, you had a lot on your plate.
I did.
But we finished everything on the grill. We finished, and then there was the guy actually was the alpha, the director, but not the cook. Was our engineer, Crib, who's like, we gotta get more meat on the grill, like over and over and over again. We're like, bro, relax. It's like, nope, get the meat on the grill.
You guys haven't lived until you've gone to bottomless Korean restaurant with offensive linemen. Back in my day, that's where we used to always go right when the scholarship checks hit. That's the first destination. We go to Korean barbecue. And I had to stand my ground and make sure those 300-pounders knew that even though I was only about 250, 260, I was going to eat with the best of them.
So we didn't do Korean barbecue. We did sushi as the O-line. If you got the invite by the O-line to go out for sushi, for all you can eat sushi, that was like you're in the in crowd. And I fortunately got the invite one time. It was
One time as a quarterback?
One time as a quarterback. It's ridiculous. And I paid. But the O-line inviting you to the all-you-can-eat sushi was like a rite of passage on the UNLV football team back in my day. So it was I got to go. It wasn't Korean barbecue, but they have enough all-you-can-eat sushi spots around campus, or at least they did back when I was going, where you could enjoy yourself. I think it was, I don't want to step on any sponsors here, but there's plenty of sushi spots, and I got to enjoy myself with the O-line, so I can attest to that. I was a lightweight, though, and one person here, I won't point any fingers, but my fingers are pointed at Steve Cofield, didn't think that I was a sushi guy. And he had the audacity to text our group chat and say, I don't know if Caleb's a sushi guy. And I was like, whoa. I love me some sushi.
Can't be so assumptuous, Steve.
I don't want to do this, but I'm gonna do it. I think I confused you with another person I work with Learfield. Don't make the joke.
Okay.
Yeah, it was CT. I don't think Curtis already likes. I can't keep track on the road. Number 2.
Number 2.
So I did that donut eating contest, and I got almost no donuts down, and the competition wasn't great or super fired up at that. What was that? The Syracuse game. I found out something yesterday, and actually we did it on the show from Mike Ramala in our 5:00 hour. Mike covers the Rebels basketball, women's basketball, men's basketball, football. Mike, as soon as he got off the plane, hit a fast food joint. He spent $40 on fast food. He got like 2 big meals, and not only did he get the 2 big meals and cost $40, he ate both at the same time.
Jesus.
I was like, dude, you got to be in the donut contest next year.
Where did he put it all?
I have no idea. He's a skinny guy. So maybe I was joking with him. I'm like, is this your version of intermittent fasting? Like at 1:00, you just go, 3,000 calories. You don't eat before, you don't eat after.
It's insane. It's like Joey Chestnut, eating competition champion of the world of everything. Like, he doesn't look like a guy that would eat a lot, but he packs it in. So is Mike Gramala in the Joey Chestnut conversation of guys who deceptively can eat a lot?
First of all, I think people who are in shape and skinnier and actually who do work out can eat better because you don't have that big layer of fat like I do around your belly. So that helps. But a lot of times people fall into this competitive eating thing. They're like, or someone tells them like, dude, you are kind of crazy, superhuman level. Number 1 is on the way back. We'll start getting into the college and football weekend. We'll go back and recap a wild game with the Steelers and the Browns.
There's a new way to get to the game, M-Ride It. M-Ride is the luxury concierge shuttle service. It's the same bus the players use, so you can ride like a pro. M-Ride will take you round trip from Circa or the Palms to Allegiant Stadium or T-Mobile Arena. No more hassle parking, sitting in traffic, or waiting in long taxi or rideshare lines. M-Ride It, and you'll get in and out quickly. Reserve your ride at mridelv.com. Use promo code BRICK. That's mridelv.com, promo code BRICK.
Treasure Island has some of the best food and entertainment in Vegas. Enjoy Phil's Steakhouse, a classic steakhouse that features prime cuts of meat, seafood, and Italian specialties. Treasure Island is also home to Gillies, a longtime favorite of tourists and locals. A honky-tonk atmosphere with live music and dance floor for two-stepping and line dancing. Check out their toughest cowboy competition every Thursday with $200 up for grabs. Treasure Island, where parking is free. Visit Treasure Island and experience the best value on the Strip. Must be 21 years or older. Please drink responsibly. Management reserves all rights.
Good morning.
Vegas is built on service.
Studio lights on, please.
3 shifts a day.
All right, let's do this.
As your morning begins,
It's showtime. We have a lot to talk about live on the program for the next 3 hours.
to do our part, News 3 Today delivers Las Vegas stories that shape your community.
Just in some breaking news on the economics front.
So, whether it's late breaking,
Breaking news.
bumper to bumper,
Avoid using flamingo.
or clearing skies,
No showers anticipated.
it's News 3 Today.
From the home office at the North Pole, we have an important announcement. Dollar Loan Center is the official short-term lender of the holidays.
People are always curious about how much cash they can get this time of year. Let's say you don't quite need a loan today, but might this holiday, and really just want to find out how much you qualify for and how it works. We do this every day at Dollar Loan Center, and the customers really dig it.
And it's free, right?
Of course, we process your application, let you know how much you qualify for, and then you're ready to go if you need a loan down the line.
That was Chuck, and he's offering up to $5,000 in minutes this holiday season with no fee to apply and a week of free interest to new customers. Stop by one of our many locations, apply online at don'tbebroke.com, or apply over the phone with one of our DLC elves. Happy holidays.
Reload means if you pay after loan of money for less, the interest is free. You are still required to repay the principal amount. Licensed by the Data Financial Institutions Division. Customer must meet normal loan qualifications. To review loan qualifications, visit us at don'tbebroke.com. Certain limitations may apply. Loans are subject to approval.
Backing down has never been an option for our family.
Our father battled communism in Cuba before coming to the U.S. and studying law at night. Today, we proudly carry on that Castroverde family legacy.
As brothers raised to fight for what's right, care for those in need, treat clients like family, we bring the very best legal team to fight for you.
It's our heritage. It's the Castroverde way.
We're the Castroverde brothers.
And we have your back.
Brotherswin.com.
It's football season, and the best place to catch the games is at Circa Resort and Casino in downtown Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history, Stadium Swim. 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Whether it's Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino and open 365 days a year. Book today at circalasvegas.com.
Finley Auto Group is pleased to welcome the newest dealership in the Valley Auto Mall, Finley Nissan Henderson. Looking for a new or used Nissan car, truck, or SUV? Find your Nissan at Finley Nissan Henderson. Visit the showroom today to get the best deals and customer service on all Nissan makes and models. Right now, save big with 0% on 2024 Rogues and Altimas, OAC, and Nissan Versas under $20,000. Browse their full inventory of new or pre-owned vehicles at FinleyNissanHenderson.com. Find your Nissan at Finley Nissan Henderson inside the Valley Auto Mall.
Hi, I'm Miley O'Keefe. In competitive gymnastics, flexibility and precision are crucial, and Les Olson IT knows how important flexibility and precision are to your business. It's why they deliver the very best IT security, office equipment, collaborative technology, and so much more. Let Les Olson IT's Perfect 10 service empower your business at lesolsonit.com. Les Olson IT.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Capriati's has always put the extra in extraordinary. Now, taste the next extraordinary. Add bacon to any Caps fave or try the Caps BLT starting at $5.99 for a limited time. Bacon, it's cappening at Capriati's Sandwich Shop. At participating stores, prices may vary.
You didn't think you'd get in a car wreck, but you did. You didn't think you'd get hurt, but you did. You didn't think you'd lose your job, but you did. When accidents you didn't think would happen, call the Richard Harris Law Firm, 444-4444, just in case.
This sports update is brought to you by William Hill. For all your betting needs, William Hill has you covered. For all the details, visit williamhill.us. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-522-4700.
Tonight at 6:30 at the Thomas & Mack, the UNLV Lady Rebels host number 9 Oklahoma. The UNLV football team is on the road. They're up in San Jose taking on the Spartans. Kickoff set for just after 7 o'clock. And the Henderson Silver Knights host the Abbotsford Canucks at Lee's Family Forum at 7.
ESPN Las Vegas is the only place to catch Sunday Night Football. It's Cofield and Company on ESPN Las Vegas and ESPN Reno.
Live in San Jose, Northern California. A couple things I did not know here. Well, first of all, I didn't know what their new facility looked like because we haven't been here since it was officially finished. It is sweet. I didn't know. That's a good banner there. Number 4 public school in the nation. That's impressive. I do know about this new scoreboard because the speakers are amazing. They made a big investment in the speakers, so this place gets really loud. Now, most of the loudness, there you go. That's why it's a, sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked. I was telling Caleb up on the sign there was a Vegas logo that San Jose State was using, but I guess they have a gambling night for charity or something. So, yeah. But anyway, There will not be a big crowd here tonight, I don't think. It's going to be probably upper 50s and raining the whole time. San Jose State is very good, very dangerous, but they've fallen on some hard times recently, and their fan turnout is not great to begin with. And on a messy night, we'll see. But they kind of, I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but they kind of replace some of the noise that might not be here because of fans by blasting those speakers.
Yeah. So, I mean, it has the potential to be hostile, these like smaller, intimate venues, if it's full. I don't think tonight will be. But I will say this, though. Sometimes teams on the road tend to turn up for top 25 teams. So, like, you can think about when UNLV plays a top 25 opponent, how much more people come out to support and watch the game. There's a chance of that. I mean, UNLV's top 23, top 24 in the CFP ranking. So, I mean, maybe that's a draw. But I think the weather is really what breaks people's backs in when it comes to this game. And I don't think people are going to turn up with this kind of ugly weather.
Anyway, slice it. This place has been a house of horrors for UNLV football. I know you mentioned the other day on the Odom show that, well, you didn't play here. But they had that last year with Arroyo, they got off to a really good start, and they came here unbeaten, and Doug Brumfield got hurt, and they got ripped, and I think Brent Brennan was like, sorry, buddy, going to hammer you, and they lost 40-7. We were also here, I think it was both of us, it was, when they had a freaking shootout when they were favored in the game, and the final score was like 52-38, and it was just now I'm blanking on Ty Leak's last name. Collins, right?
Collins, yeah.
And I swear he had like 210 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. It didn't matter because the Rebels could not stop the deep ball.
Yeah, and one of the things about this team is they also have an elite deep ball. So if you have that in your offensive repertoire, which San Jose State has over the past couple of seasons, you always have a puncher's chance. And that's scary for teams like UNLV. We saw last week how scary it was for Boise State because San Jose State got out in front of Boise State. So I don't know, weather pending, like the weather will probably play into UNLV's favor if it turns out to be a downpour again. Like it stopped. The rain has stopped right now, but it's supposed to rain all night. So if it's raining all night, maybe the air raid is slowed down a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But they're a dangerous team.
Spread and shred.
Spread and shred.
Spread. You got to say it slowly. It's not easy.
Spread and shred.
Yeah.
3 times fast.
They've got 2 receivers who I think are both NFL receivers. And I actually think both will get drafted. I think when people when Nick Nash goes to the All-Star games, one, they're going to see how big he is, which when we watched him play quarterback, like he was kind of average-sized quarterback at 6'3" and 210. Your receiver, 6'3", 210, is big. I loved watching him play quarterback as a change-up guy because if you didn't cover the middle of the field, goodbye.
Yeah.
He was going to, again, spread and shred, a different meaning. He would kill you that way. I don't think they're going to use him at all in any pass plays. They really haven't this year. But, man, he's going to be tough to cover. And it's like, oh, just get help over to that side. Yeah, well, what about Justin Lockhart, who's averaging 19.6 a catch?
And I think the way that they use them formationally, Nash is not just an X receiver. Like this team, watching them on film, they play out of 3-by-1 a lot. Usually your best receiver is the one guy, the guy that's singled up. Their second best receiver now, Lockhart, is the number 1 guy. And they'll put Nick Nash in the slot in the 3-by-1 formation. So it's like they put him in position to get mismatches so they can target him a little easier. And it's similar to what UNLV does with Ricky White. They move him around formationally so you can't just say, oh, your best receiver is always lined up outside the numbers. No, he's not. He can line up anywhere. And it has been a great 1-2 punch. And I don't think this is an offense that's built, even though Nick Nash is clearly, I think, the best receiver on their team. I don't think their offense has been built to say, this is our guy. This is all you have to worry about. Take him away and you'll be fine. I think there's another team in the conference where you could say, if you take Ashton Genty away, you stop the Boise State offense. Not the case with San Jose State. Their best offensive weapon isn't the only guy that they'll go to, and they've proven that over the last couple of weeks. Lockhart's near the 1,000-yard club as well, so it's not like he was the best receiver when Nash was a quarterback. Before Nash made the transition a couple years ago, he was the number 1 receiver, and he was getting all the same kind of targets that Nash is getting. So it's a problem. It's a problem for any secondary. UNLV secondary has struggled with the deep ball in the last couple of weeks. I don't think their game plan has been so focused on it in the past couple of weeks, so we'll see what they unleash against the Spartans. But definitely something to be concerned about. Hopefully, UNLV's figured this puzzle out, and they'll have some ready for game day.
I don't know Lockhart. I haven't really had a chance to talk to him. I've talked to Nick Nash, and we spoke to him at Mountain West Conference Media Day. What a humble dude. like bordering on almost too shy. I think talent evaluators will love him, as long as he's a little more forthcoming, a little more aggressive. Not all receivers are like that. And George Pickens is one of those guys I can't figure out. Steelers media has figured it out. They're like, we have to talk to George no matter what happens after the game. They wound up losing last night. They come back, furious come back. They have a Hail Mary. And in the highlight, you see George Pickens is just driven out of bounds. You're out of the play. Ball gets knocked down. And then Pickens is like fighting with the defensive back and ready to go at it with security people. Like, George, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's first of all, coaching point for anybody in there in a situation where there's a Hail Mary, just pass interference. We've talked about, bat it down, don't try to intercept it. They're not throwing a flag. In the sample size we have this year, there have been no penalties thrown on those Hail Mary attempts. That was a pass interference in George Pickens' defense. Now, are we going to start a fight about it as the game's taken away? No. I mean, not just with the players on the field, but with the staff, the security staff in Cleveland. Like, we're really fighting with them about it. I don't, like you said, I don't understand George Pickens. I don't understand really the last two great Steelers receivers that have just been absolute nightmares as far as what they do to hurt your team and the culture of your team. Tomlin deserves awards just for keeping the locker room together, right? Like, for what the Steelers have been able to do this year, what they've been able to do historically with the kind of characters they've had in the locker room. I don't know how you manage it. And it gets to the point where you're like, okay, stop. You're hurting us. You're hurting us with these antics. Granted, talented receiver when he's there, when he's playing, he's one of the best receivers in the league. But not just the fighting on the field, the antics on the field, then the post-game presser. Like, there's stuff that Mike Tomlin has to answer for because of what you said. Oh, are the Browns really just a terrible team and they wouldn't beat you in fair weather? That's what George Pickens said. Now you have to defend that. Like, that becomes a distraction, and we have to listen to it for the next 3 days on the NFL news cycle. That George Pickens is a head case. He's costing his team. Like, everybody's going to have a reaction to that, and I don't think you can say that it's not a distracting factor. I don't know at all times if it's worth that distraction, and it became the case with Antonio Brown down the stretch. Like, is it worth the distraction of what he does off the field for the talent he has on it?
And George Pickens ain't Antonio Brown.
No.
AB was awesome, and the league still told him to buzz off. Now, George Pickens probably has a shorter leash of patience because he's good. He's not awesome. He's not AB. Denver, this is going to sound crazy. If the Steelers have the close to the season like you thought they would, you said they would close out, I think, 2-8 or 2-6, whatever it was. So they're 1-1. Denver's far back now, but they could get to 7-5 with a win over the Raiders. Are they going to beat the Raiders? They're going to sweep them after the Raiders have beaten them 8 times in a row. The improvement in Denver is that big, and especially landing Bo Nix. Do you buy Bo Nix as a franchise quarterback or still waiting?
I'm still waiting as far as a franchise quarterback. I think he has a really good team, especially defensively. Their defense has been, I think, one of the surprises of the NFL season. I will say, though, I'm surprised by Bo Nix. I didn't think he would be this good. Maybe I should have because he's 29. So he's got the age and maturity to be good. So he's done some things. His athleticism has been on display. He's the second leading rusher on the team. He's gotten out of some bad situations, prevented negative plays. In the last month, their third down percentage has been like really, really good against really good defenses, especially against Kansas City. They were up over 54%, I think, against Kansas City this year. And it's partially because they do so good on first and second down of avoiding negative plays. So they have manageable third downs, especially over the last month. So they are surprised. I think they will be that playoff team. And I do think the Steelers are going to fall off a cliff. They have the toughest remaining schedule in the AFC, I believe, maybe in all of football right now. Essentially what they did these last week is switch the Ravens and Browns. I thought they'd beat the Browns and lose to the Ravens. So they just switched those games in the last 2 weeks. But I think they're going to finish I don't want to say below 500, but I do think they will miss the playoff because of how good the rest of the AFC is. And the Broncos are going to be a big reason that. The Broncos being a surprise team, I think with the path they have ahead, with the Raiders being who they are, I think the Chargers are interesting, but I think the Broncos may even edge out the Chargers with how they've been playing defensively. So we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. I think that's getting really dicey down there. Justin Herbert's been playing lights out. But the way that they didn't finish against the Bengals, I don't trust the Chargers maybe as much as I do the Broncos. I think the Broncos I trust a little bit more with the way they play defense and the way Bo Nix has been playing as of late. So the AFC is stacked, though. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those teams make the playoffs.
Griffin, real quick here, I want to talk about another receiver coming back. This was Devontae Adams trying to make the best of a weird situation in Jetland with Kay Adams.
When you look at the situation I was in Vegas and you look at the situation I'm in here, with the way that this offense is able to, the potential of this offense, or at least I at least feel hopeful that, going into the next game that we'll be able to have a good performance.
Long and the redirections in that one, he couldn't actually say it. The Jets are not much better than the Raiders, and the Raiders have Minshew out there. Devontae, he knows he's in the soup. He's in big trouble. On the way back, get into a little jumbo jet delusion.
Hi, this is Peyton Manning. I know a thing or two about audibles, specifically when it comes to making a change during the game. You can call your own audibles with early cash out on the Caesar Sportsbook Nevada app. With early cash out, now you have the option to audible your previously placed wagers with just a click.
Audible? Is this just an excuse for you to say Omaha in an ad?
Exactly, Eli. Omaha.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join us on Thursday, December 12th at Wynn Las Vegas for the annual State of the Chamber and Board of Trustees Installation Luncheon. Our incoming chairwoman, Janet Uthman, will highlight the Vegas Chamber's priorities for the Las Vegas business community in the coming year. The annual installation event is one of the Vegas Chamber's most popular programs, gathering Nevada's community leaders. Visit vegaschamber.com for more information. Sponsored by the Vegas Chamber in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
Joe's Seafood, prime steak and stone crab. The legend